Everyone believed I was fighting to save my mother. That's what made the ending hurt them more. The day my mother collapsed at the factory gate, no one helped her. Not the supervisors, not the workers, they just watched because she was old and replaceable. I was called after 2 hours. By the time I reached the hospital, she was unconscious. The doctor looked at me and said, "Extreme stress, overwork, negligence." I sat beside her bed and promised one thing. They will pay for this. My mother had worked in that textile factory for 27 years. No promotion, no respect, no permanent contract. Just long hours and silence. The owner's son once said loudly, "She should be thankful she still has a job." I remembered that sentence, because that sentence built my revenge. I took leave from my small job and stayed with my mother. Every night, I watched machines in my head. Every morning, I wrote plans. I didn't shout. I didn't complain. I studied. I learned how the factory worked, where the money flowed, where the laws were broken. Then I did something no one expected. I applied for a job in the same factory. People laughed when they saw me there. "She's the sick woman's daughter," they whispered. The manager smirked and said, "You won't last a week." I smiled. I lasted 2 years. I worked quietly. I listened more than I spoke. I collected things. Overtime records, salary slips, video proofs. But that was not the twist. The real twist was this. My mother woke up one night, looked at me, and said, "Stop." I was shocked. She held my hand and said, "I don't want revenge." I didn't listen, because I thought she was weak. I was wrong. Months later, my mother died peacefully in her sleep. At her funeral, factory representatives sent flowers. No one came in person. I stood there and smiled, because they had no idea what she had already done. After her death, a lawyer contacted me. He said, "Your mother left you something." I laughed bitterly. She had nothing. Or so I thought. At the lawyer's office, he placed documents in front of me. Shares. Factory shares. Minority shares, but enough to shake the ground. My hands trembled. Turns out, years ago, when the factory was near collapse, my mother had loaned her life savings. Instead of cash repayment, she took shares. Quietly, without telling anyone. She stayed silent and worked harder. She was not weak. She was waiting. And now, those shares were mine. I didn't rush. I didn't announce it. Instead, I bought more shares, slowly, secretly, through different names. The owner ignored warnings. The son wasted money. Losses grew. One day, an emergency board meeting was called. I attended. As a shareholder. The room went quiet. The owner squinted and said, "You?" I nodded. The son laughed. "This is a joke." I placed documents on the table. Share percentages. Silence. I didn't want the factory. I wanted justice. I proposed one motion. Full audit. Worker contracts. Medical benefits. Safety laws. They refused. So I used the votes. The factory was frozen. News spread. Media came. Workers protested. And then, the final twist. I stood in front of cameras and said, "This factory doesn't belong to me." Gasps. I continued. "It belongs to the workers, because my mother already transferred her shares into a trust, in their names." The owner collapsed. The son shouted. But it was done. Legally. Irreversibly. The factory reopened under worker management. As for me, I walked away. Someone asked me, why didn't you take everything? I smiled and said, because the strongest revenge is not becoming them. And the biggest twist is when the powerless were powerful all along.